Hi, my name is Anthony Charles, and in today's video, I'd like to talk to you about the pros and cons of writing a one-page business plan. If you've listened to my other video on writing a comprehensive business plan, you'll know that I favor the larger version of a business plan, but I do think there are some merits in writing a single-page business plan, so we'll talk about that today. What I don't want to do is to get into a backwards and forwards on whether you need a business plan or not. There are many people who have started and they run very successful businesses and they have never had a business plan. So I'm not here to say at any time that not having a business plan is going to mean that you're not going to be successful in business. I think that it gives you the best chance, especially if you are new to business. However, as I said, there are many people who don't subscribe to business plans. And I will say that we have to look at some of the statistics, and to my knowledge, the last time I checked, between 70 and 80% of new businesses fail within their first year in the UK. And there's got to be a reason for that. And I would think that it's got to be down to the implementation, the execution, what they did. And maybe the implementation, the execution was affected by the plan that they had. Who knows? But I'm here to talk to you about having a one-page business plan, and let's talk about some of the pros of having one. Now, writing a business plan and the comprehensive business plan that I like to use, the traditional style business plan, it can be daunting. And it's time consuming. So when the single page business plan came along, a lot of people jumped at it. And I could understand why, because it saved a lot of time. But which one is best for you? Well, one of the first pros I can think about as far as a single page business plan is concerned is clarity. It forces you to condense all of your ideas into their most essential components. So you got all the ideas and you've got to shrink them down to this level, and you've got to make them make sense. And when you do that, it becomes very easy for others, such as partners or mentors or even investors, to grasp your concept really, really easily. So that's a real plus. Of course, I said already, it's time efficient. Writing a one-page business plan is going to be less time consuming than writing a multi-page one. Adaptability is another plus. You can easily adapt that one-page business plan as your business evolves. As you start up a business in the very early stages with the ideas flowing, then you might need to make considerable changes. And if you have to just change small sentences as opposed to paragraphs, then it's going to be a lot easier. Engagement. I've kind of touched on this already. It's more engaging for stakeholders, team members, and advisors. It gets straight to the point, and it makes it really, really easy for you to communicate your vision and your strategy. And people can quickly grasp the business vision, and it facilitates better collaboration and support from people around you. So that's a lot of pluses to having the single page business plans. I'm going to talk about a couple of cons. Let's go back to that clarity. The clarity can show up in a lack of detail. It can show up in a lack of in-depth knowledge needed to thoroughly analyze that business idea to see if it's really, really feasible. You can miss out important aspects like detailed marketing analysis, financial projections, and operational plans. All of these things can be glossed over. And when you gloss over things like that, then you can run the risk of painting a very incomplete picture. And that can present a little bit of a nightmare to stakeholders, team members, potential investors, because it may show that you don't fully grasp the vision or the strategy. It may show that. It may not be the truth, but if you gloss over things, that's the impression that it can give. As far as very complex businesses with multiple streams of income, a lot of moving parts, and very, very complex businesses, I don't think that one-page business plan will really, really work for that. A lot of businesses like that, they require detailed planning. and they need to capture all the variables and all of the potential challenges. And many of those businesses are going for, huge amounts of investment, and for huge amounts of investments to come, you've got to be able to give a lot of information. In my last video, I talked about that comprehensive business plan, and I said, imagine having a business plan that answered every potential question that your potential investor would have before they even started questioning you. Imagine that. Imagine allaying all of their fears before they even started questioning you. That would show that you have an in-depth knowledge of your business. And yeah, I do think it's a non-starter for anyone seeking real investment, other than going to friends, family, or parents, partners. I think if you're looking for investment from somebody you don't know, they are, unless you've got some great track record, then they're going to want the information, and you're not going to be able to put that across on a one-page business plan. I think there can be a misleading simplicity to having that one-page business plan, and that could lead to a real underestimating of the challenges ahead when it comes down to running a business. It can give you a false impression that the business is going to be straightforward, as it is to write this one-page business plan, and it's going to be very, very easy. Many years ago, I've been asked this question loads of times, but I can remember the first time somebody asked me how hard it was to be in business, and man, I had gone through a hard time. And I just said to them, look, you just need to think about the hardest thing you've ever had to do, right? Now times it by 10. And I said, everything that you think is going to happen is probably not going to happen. And those are normally good things that you think are going to happen. And everything that you fear may happen is going to happen. And they're going to bring friends as well. So, the thing is, I don't want to put anybody off. I love the saying where they said, when it comes down to going into business, nobody said it's going to be easy, but man, it's so worth it. So I'm here to give you information that's going to help you to bolster yourself, to get the knowledge and the wisdom to be able to start up and run that business and grow it successfully, and to have that mindset to be able to overcome the challenges that can stop you from getting into business and to making it a real success. So in balancing those pros and cons, which one should you use? I think that if you're still daunted by that big business plan, then use that one-page business plan to start with. And when you use a one-page business plan, then you start with that. It gives you the clarity and the vision, and it gives your basic strategy, and that will be the initial step that helps you to get started without feeling really overwhelmed. You can use that one-page business plan for initial pitches to stakeholders, potential investors, but you've got to be prepared to firstly know that one-page business plan has limitations, and you've got to be prepared to expand on it with more detailed analysis, projections, and the components required to show that you actually understand the business and the business field that you're going into. Lastly, if you're thinking of starting up a business of your own, then do make use of our 20-point business ready questionnaire, and I'll link to that below. It's a free 20-point business ready questionnaire, and it will take you about 5 minutes to fill in. It's yes and no's, but when you score yourself at the end of the 20 points, it will give you a realistic idea if you're really ready to go into business. And it's not just to say to you you're ready or not. The areas where you have the no's, it's as simple as that. Those are the areas that you need to improve on. Those are the areas that you need to get into yeses in order to be really ready to run a successful business. So all that's left for me to say to you is thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. If this was useful to you in any way, then please like, please subscribe, please share. And I'd love you to comment. And in particular, I'd love you to comment with your ideas. This channel is inspired by all of the amazing people on YouTube. For years, I have gone to YouTube for everything that I need, from getting rid of a wasp nest in my house to fixing a washing machine and putting up a shed in my back garden, etc., etc., etc. I have always admired people who put videos up that help other people, and I'm just always amazed at the diversity of information that is out there. So here I am, contributing, and I'm hoping that the information that I'm giving to you is of use. As I said, if it is, then you know what to do. If not, tell me in the comments what you'd like me to speak about. In the meantime, keep on being amazing. You know why? Because you are. I'll speak to you soon.